afternoon. The title of today's news commentary written by traffic reporters is Call for Bold Investment in People as Africa Faces SDG Financing Gap. Now the news in full. The United Nations has urged African governments, the private sector and development partners to make bold investments in people, strengthen partnership and mobilize sustainable finances to accelerate progress towards achieving the sustainable development goals, warning that the continent risks falling behind with less than 5 years to the 2030 deadline. Speaking at the Africa Social Impact Summit 2026 in Lagos on Saturday, the United Nations Population Fund representative in Nigeria, Ms. Muriel Mafiko, who represented the United Nations Resident Coordinator in Nigeria, Ms. Wafa Said, said Africa's future will depend on its ability to unlock the potential of its people through strategic investments. In a statement issued in Abuja by the National Information Officer of the United Nations Information Center, Oluseyi Loremikun, Mafiko said the continent must ensure that every child has access to quality education, every young person secure meaningful employment, every woman is empowered to fulfill her potential, and every community is equipped to withstand future economic and climate shocks. The wealth of a nation is not measured by what is extracted from the ground. It's measured by what is unlocking in people, she said. Describing the summit as timely, Mafiko said conversation on development finances should focus on expanding opportunities for citizens rather than merely addressing funding gaps. She warned that Africans' development aspirations were under pressure from slowing economic growth, rising debt burdens, declining development assistance, climate-induced disaster, and persistent conflicts across the continent. According to her, recent assessments indicate that only 36% of the Sustainable Development Goal targets are either on track or making moderate progress, while the financing gap facing developing countries continue to widen. With less than 5 years remaining to achieve the 2030 agenda, we must act with great urgency, solidarity, and ambition, Mafiko said. She identified Nigeria's youth population as one of its greatest strengths, noting that targeted investment in education, innovation, and entrepreneurship could position the country as a global center for inclusive economic growth. Mafiko, however, cautioned that neglecting investment in young people will deepen inequality and limit opportunities for future generations. She also urged African countries to embrace homegrown solutions and stronger national leadership in driving sustainable development. No country can outsource its development. No nation can import resilience, she said, adding that international partnerships should support rather than replace national efforts. The UN official called for a shift in development finances through increased domestic resource mobilization, greater private sector investment, support for entrepreneurship and innovation, as well as expanded opportunities for women and young people. She added that the United Nations was already collaborating with government, civil society organizations, development partners, and the private sector in Nigeria to strengthen institutions, expand social protection, transform food systems, promote renewable energy, advance digital innovation, and improve education. Reaffirming the UN's commitment to the Sustainable Development Goals, Mafiko urged stakeholders to move beyond declarations and translate commitment into tangible action. She expressed confidence that Africa possesses the talent, ideas, and entrepreneurial capacity needed to transform its future, stressing that the continent must mobilize investment capable of matching its ambitions. We must ensure that this summit is remembered not just for the conversation we had, but for the partnership we built, the investment we unlock, and the collection action we took to create a more prosperous and inclusive future for all, she said. And that marks the end of today's news commentary on Mapoli Radio 99.7 FM. My name is Uro Veronica. Good afternoon.